Hello everyone, this is 32 back again with another edition of What's on Deck, or What's on Kickstarter. We're going to do 2 videos today, because otherwise it turns out to be way too long apparently. Hopefully the audio works. I'm using the deck with these because I noticed I've noticed some issues with the audio using my other microphone that I've been using. I don't know why. Anyways, let's start off. Let's look at what is on Kickstarter. There's a lot on Kickstarter. The watermelon playing cards from Flamenco is funded, 11 days to go. Bicycle Open Season from Collectible Cards is 57% funded, 10 days to go. It's not looking too good at this rate. Leonardo 2018 by Art Playing Cards is funded, 7 days to go. I'll recommend checking that one out if you missed out last time. Then we got the Bicycle Hybrid, a new one from Elite Playing Cards, and it looks kind of atrocious in my opinion. I mean, look at this thing. They're going for this kind of like a futuristic, modern, whatever type of look. They've done it before to some extent with the Bicycle Evolution decks they did. Those ones were better in my opinion. This one, that's the back design. You see right there, at least I assume. And then look at the faces. The indexes are not to my liking. They're way too far from the corner. They're upside down. They got V's for A's, it looks like, or maybe it kind of looks like that anyways. I'm also not just a huge fan of the artwork they've got going on here. It's just really weird, very robotic looking and futuristic looking. The indexes, like I said, they're just not very usable. And you see some jokers, and that's it. They're not even showing us the core cards, at least not in the pictures. They're not showing us the core cards. They're not showing us the number cards. Why would you back this? It just makes no sense. I'll wait until later on, after it's done on Kickstarter, and get it, if anything. Yeah. But people are backing it for some unknown reason. With the wireless playing cards from SVI Group, it is funded, 19 days to go. Essential Fabrica Anatomical playing cards. God, I can't pronounce that word for some reason. By Glitz card is 52% funded, 24 days to go. I'm pretty certain we looked at that one before. The Ecliptic Zodiac playing cards from Chris Ovdienko is funded, 54 hours to go. Yay, finally got funded. Hypnotic playing cards from Spiel Cards and Shop, their first project, is also funded. 54 minutes to go. By the time this video is up, it will be long gone. But you should be able to pick it up on their website, spielcardandshop.com, later on if you missed out, and I'm sure other sites as well. Bicycle Casa from Barry, which I think is an interesting idea. However, I think it could be done better. But it is funded, 9 days to go, for what it's worth. Tennis playing cards by Grant Young is 16% funded, 15 days to go. Don't think it happens. Bold illustrated playing cards by Barbara Jodos and Felix Chung. I'm butchering the name, no doubt. 21% funded, 2 hours to go. It is not going to happen. Sockman's original playing card socks by Penguin Magic is 84% funded, 4 days to go. That one may or may not happen. Like I said, save yourself some money. Just make it yourself. Next up, we get into there's always the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? You just can't really think about this one. The highlighted blue playing cards by Stephen Singleton, 5% funded, 26 days to go. I don't see it happening. Thank you. I'll go to complete that survey later. Highlighted playing cards, yay. There's your top case. That's the back design, which is fancy, super cool 8s for highlighter, and it's in a highlighter, blue highlighter color, hence the name highlighter. Where's the pink and the yellow variations as well? Gotta get those ones in there. But wow. At least the prices are reasonable. $5 for one on the early bird, $6 regular price, $2, $10 for 2, but they only ship to the United States. Now, I do have a workaround for that if I wanted to get it. And actually there's he says it's based off the 5 colors of highlighters: yellow, orange, green, blue, and pink. Right, so yeah. So I guess he's planning 5 decks. Of course, out of all the highlighter colors, why would you start with blue? I would have started with a more common yellow or pink or something like that. That seems to be more common. Well, yellow, I mean, seems to be the most common highlighter color, I think. That probably would have been the way to start. That's really what it says here. He decided to create this to be very affordable and cheap. I appreciate that very much. He is a collector himself, apparently, and he knows the decks cost $10 to $15 for a custom deck. And it's pretty pricey. These are to be printed by the USPC. How he's going to be printing them for that and selling them for that amount of money, I don't know. However, I assume the faces are going to be completely generic. So this is not a custom deck that you're selling that would be sold for $10 or $15 because it's completely generic. It's just mega fail. Let's move on. There's another one that's been canceled that I will try to remember to show you. There's the Human Evolution playing cards from Magic Trick Store, 40% funded 13 days ago. Personally, I think it was better when it was bicycle branded. At least it had a little more appeal to more people like that, as opposed to being unbranded. But I don't think it's going to happen again anyway. Then there's the Garderhorn Viking playing cards by Ethereal Visions Publishing. Very well funded, 19 days to go. The reason why it's so well funded, they've got about 4 or 5 different color variations, and I'm just not a fan of that. I kind of mentioned that last week before while talking about them. I don't mind if a project on Kickstarter has multiple decks, but if they're just color swaps, then it just is a go away. Stupid notifications. Oh, come on. Yes, I know there's new messages. You got mail! Not now. The problem is it becomes really expensive for color variations if you have, and I mean if it's one color variation, if it's 2 decks or whatever, it's fine, but when you go into 3 or 4 decks and the only difference is the color, it gets to be a little expensive for just color variations. Some projects, like the ones from Thirdway, they will do multiple decks, but there's differences between each deck. It's not just a color swap. The back will be modified, the faces will be modified. That I can get behind. I mean, same with like Jackson Robinson's deck here. We got the Silver Sacbut V2 by Magic Square Company. It is funded, 19 days to go. I've already got them. I'll pass. I'm not going to spend the money just to get the gold deck that I don't have. Screw it. Maduro playing cards by Jackson Robinson, inspired by cigars, is well funded, almost 200%, 16 days to go. I was backing. I dropped my prices because it's a lot of money, but who knows, I may get back into it. It's one of the nicest decks he's done. One of the nicer decks he's done in recent times. Sisterhood of Blood Volume 2 by Quicksilver is 84% funded, 5 days to go. Go back, let's make this a reality. It's the second time around he's trying, and hasn't funded yet, and there's a lot of other decks that have that probably shouldn't be funded. So let's get it funded. He's been cross-promoted a little bit with other projects, which is great. It's a beautiful deck, beautiful design. There's no reason, not to get it. Next, we got the Master Series Lords deck by DeVoe, by Hamlords. It is funded, 7 days to go. I don't remember if I mentioned it. It might have launched after. It's a very short project campaign, so it might have launched after my last video. So we'll look at it. I don't think I did show it to you. I think I described it in my Facebook group as kind of being a tally hole circle back on crack. It kind of is. When you look at the back design, it's very much the center, anyways, reminiscent of a tally hole circle back. And obviously we added these corner details for the fanning effects, and you got the same thing on the faces. They're very interesting court cards. You can see it's a 4-way fanning deck basically between the faces and the backs. Apparently, there's some Kickstarter exclusives. Apparently, you get a free coin if you pledge 3 decks or more. That's not bad. It's $39 for a t-shirt, though. That's bad. I wouldn't pay $39 for a t-shirt. Give me a t-shirt for $5. The code cards are pretty interesting. They're very nice looking, I think. They're not bad. They're definitely interesting. They're definitely different. These ones are apparently faceless. They're pretty cool. The aces are pretty nice as well. It's definitely one that I will look to pick up later on. I just got too many decks that I'm backing right now on Kickstarter, unfortunately, to back another one when I know I can get it later on. But it's a pretty interesting looking deck. Moving on, we got World Series 2 typographic playing cards by Luke Waddy. It is funded, 7 hours to go. And I could not be bothered with that one. Then we got Body Cards by Sense Labs, which I'm pretty sure I mentioned last week. It's... Actually, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't remember. I don't think that I did, actually. It is 8% funded, though, 33 days. It's not going to happen, I don't believe. Looks like, again, there's too many unnecessary color variations, especially for like a deck like this. Do one deck and try to fund it. They got a goal that's over 17,000 pounds, which is over $31,000 Canadian, which is ridiculous. They refer to it as a personal trainer in your pocket. Yes, because while somebody is stretching and doing exercise, they're going to pull out a deck of cards and do some magic tricks and pick out exercises. I mean, really? I think the last thing a person that's doing exercise wants to do is pull out a deck of cards and try to figure out what exercise they're going to do next. The exercise and the artwork is fine. I think it's an interesting idea, but it's something that should be, in a book or something like that. Again, I see too many colors. There's standard, there's a midnight, there's a casino colorway. How is that a casino colorway? It's not anything close to being a casino deck. Back design pattern is the only thing close to being a casino back, but that's not a casino colorway. And there's also Robin, whatever that is, that's locked apparently. It just seems kind of ridiculous. And they plan on shipping in May. I don't know who's producing it. Of course, I don't know who's producing the cards or anything like that, so I couldn't tell you if the quality is going to be good or not. Oh yeah, never mind. I forgot. It says here that it's plastic, so keep that in mind. It's plastic decks. I believe I saw that. Yes, waterproof PVC. Don't know who's producing them. Apparently there's 5 different suits in this. That's the most interesting thing about the whole thing. So you got hearts is for cardio, which makes sense. Spades is for the lower back. The butt cheeks, apparently, as you can see my spade pick. The clubs is the upper back. Diamond is the abs. And then there's stars for stretches. Right. It is free international shipping, so that's always nice. But, it just does nothing for me. And personally, I think they should have started with one deck at a much lower goal if they're going to have a chance of funding. Next, we got Jintos and Jokers by Wesley Robb. 60% funded, 17 days to go. I don't see it happening just because there's so many other decks on Kickstarter taking people's money from, backing projects like this, and it hasn't funded yet. So I would put that one at a cautionary state as far as funding is concerned. I don't think it's going to happen, if you will. Heroes of Japan by Card Deck is funded, however, 17 days to go. It's a pretty interesting looking deck, one that I might look at later on. Bicycle Year of the Dog from Mike Gustalis. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday to Mike. Our collectible playing cards is 62% funded, 4 days to go. Unfortunately, don't see it happening at this rate. even though it has had some improvements as far as the indexes and whatnot are concerned. I would personally make it like a mirror image back design instead of a one-way back design for one. It's not a bad looking deck. I like it. I hope it funds. Next, we got the worst deck of playing cards by Teach by Magic for the worst show in Vegas. It is funded, 18 days to go, and it's actually not the worst deck of playing cards, at least on Kickstarter. There's far worse, that's for sure. Pretty low goal. These guys, Teach by Magic, have done some decks in the past. Most notably, they did the Bicycle Different decks, which you can see on my channel, the reviews. They were basically typographic type decks. And they've also done the Bicycle Amazing, which had a maze theme. Now this is this one. It's actually not bad. Nice back design. Well, it's an interesting back design. Interesting faces featuring apparently there's rules, special rules for the worst game, whatever that is. But it's well done. As you can see, featuring characters from this show in Vegas. I'm not very familiar with this show in Vegas. Imagine some kind of a magic show. It's well done. It's interesting. And, I mean, it is what it is. I don't know 100% how they did in the last projects as far as fulfillment and communication. But they did deliver. I got all my stuff for what it's worth. And it's only $9 US for one deck, so that's not a bad price. And that is that. So let's move on. It's an interesting deck of cards, that's for sure. Far from the worst. Next we got Liney Curve playing cards by Forms Essentials. I did mention it before. Funded, 20 days to go. Not a huge fan. Then there's Tiki Landia playing cards by Robert Jimenez. 63% funded, 22 days to go. Don't think we've looked at this one. It may or may not fund. Just have a look here. Printed by USB-C. Interesting artwork. It's, fairly well done, I would say. Completely custom. The back design is, well, it is what it is. It's not bad. It's not great. It says Tiki Landia on there. It is mirror image. It's got some skulls and whatnot. It's an interesting kind of vibrant color scheme. I'm just trying to figure out what Tiki Landia is. It just basically is a deck that features Tiki art of Robert Jimenez. His third project. Apparently they're sold out on some things. Just trying to see what else he's had. He's had just some artwork stuff. Yeah, it is what it is. It's an interesting idea. It's not bad at all. I'm just not sure I'm overly interested in it, especially with that back design. But yeah, it looks kind of interesting. What the hell just happened there? Oh, good grief. Moving on, we got the Runaround playing cards by CDL Art Studio. 15% funded, 23 days to go. I don't see it happening. Then we got Red playing cards by Not My Real Name. What is your real name? It's 70% funded by 10 days to go. Apparently nobody cares because nobody's pledging for it. I have serious concerns with this one. Other people have kind of flagged it on the forums as well. I mean, first of all, he's using Not My Real Name as opposed to an actual name. Like he could have come up with some random company name and made it a lot less suspicious. Also, not a fan of the fact that he was going to go with just standard court cards, but then he decided last minute on a whim to completely customize the court cards, and now he's not going to have the artwork done at all by the time the project ends. So you don't even exactly know what you're going to get. Anyways, so yeah, I've got some concerns with that one, and I mean, there's quite a few projects here that are first-time creators who have never backed any projects, and that's always kind of makes me a little bit nervous. Next, we have the Juggler Model Edition playing cards by Julio Rivera. Actually, I believe it's Julio, since he's from Spain and not South America. Julio Rivera. They're not bad. It's interesting color. Interesting back design. I'm down for it. It's funded 18 days to go. Then we got the Donald deck by the Donald deck. It's 26% funded, 23 days to go. Personally, I don't mind humorous pictures of Donald Trump, but I just don't like Donald Trump. I don't want anything with his name on it or his likeness on it. So, thumbs down for me, and I don't think it's going to fund at this rate. Save 50 playing cards by Craig Maidmet is 37% funded, 27 days to go. Does not look like it's going to happen. It's not that exciting, as you can see. It's repetitive court cards, as you can see, with a different color per suit, which is, that part is cool. Although, I would have preferred a different color for the diamonds. Personally, I would have done red for the hearts, green for the clubs, and yellow for the diamonds. That's just me. Next, we have the Ode to La Katrina playing cards for Roman Kotiv. It is funded 24 days to go, excuse me. It's, well, very beautiful tuck cases. If Nora Arts is good at anything, it is beautiful. Highly embossed, foiled tuck cases, and this is no exception. There's two decks, I guess, La Katrina Vivas and La Katrina Muertas. So it's a live deck and a dead deck. Interior and exterior foils, because interior foil is so important. Embossing, special stock on the tucks, metallic inks on the cards. As you can see, beautiful, beautiful tuck cases. But then we get to the cards, and it's similar to the previous Muertos decks they did, whatever they were called, to some extent. The court cards, why would they just strip down the middle? Like, why not fill in the space a bit more? Obviously, this is the dead deck. They're just skeletons. They're not bad, actually. The artwork is good. The aces, they're flowers, shaped like a pip, which is pretty cool. His jokers are pretty cool, too. And the back design is... it's a one-way for some reason. I would have preferred it was mirror image. But it's not bad, and it's the one deck. And then we go to Vivas, the living. And same style number cards, I believe. Court cards, they're very nice looking with live people, and a little bit better as far as I'm concerned with the artwork. Again, kind of skinny though, down the middle. Somewhat, I suppose. And nice, beautiful aces. You know, I'm starting to change my mind about this one. This one is a much nicer back design. But again, the other thing is, Skull and Bones has been done to the death, pun intended. It's just, it's so many times we've seen these style of decks. But it's not a bad price, and I don't know if there's shipping included or not. The other issue for me is its quality has always been kind of, it could be better in my opinion. So we'll see if I get that one or not. Starting to change my mind on it a little bit. Then we got Dragon Black playing cards by Ben Green, funded 22 days to go. Sakura's bicycle playing cards by Tefepa, cards due 15% funded, 9 days to go. It's not going to happen. I've given them my thoughts. I've suggested that they, for one, look at shipping with an American company. They did not do the research. They did not look at fulfillment companies like Autoplay or Gamblers, which I highly recommend if you're outside of the U.S., because it just makes no sense to go to the added expense of having the USPC ship your product all the way to Europe or Asia, and then you ship it all the way back. It just makes absolutely no sense. It adds extra expense and extra time to the project when you could just get it done right from the US, since most backers are in Canada, or in US or Canada. And also, I mean, I like the idea of this deck. I like the style of the art. It would be nice if they actually showed it to you in this picture. They don't. But it is what it is. I suggest that as well. Next up, we got the Luna Moon and Helios Sun playing cards by Kevin Yu. Very well funded, almost $100,000. That is ridiculous. 19 days to go. Make sure to check it out. It's a very interesting looking deck and tuck case. Art of Cardistry, Geometry playing cards V2 by Dylan Prescott. Funded, 32 hours to go. This is the type of deck, it kind of annoys me. It's funded, had a really low goal, has some kind of a fan base, and then you look at projects like the Sisterhood of Blood, and it's not funded. Why? I mean, why are people backing this? It's a horrible one-way back design of triangles and standard faces. Whoop-de-doo. Moving on. Go support someone who actually puts effort into their product and has something good. Now, the major appeal of this one is it's super limited. Whoop-de-doo. Moving on, we got the Modern Aircraft Military Series 2nd edition by Byworthy, bicycle playing cards. 40% funded, 22 days to go. Don't remember if I showed you this one. Okay. It's basically similar to the previous deck they did. Same idea. The previous one was warships, I believe. This one is aircrafts. Yeah, it was the bicycle warships deck. And I'm just not a fan. It's just pictures of planes on every card on the back design. It's not appealing to me, especially, what's the price here for one deck? $15 Australian, which is the same Canadian, for one deck. This is a $3 deck, as you can buy at Walmart, basically. It's not, and look at that back design. It's a horrible one-way back design. There's no artistic ability with this whatsoever. It's just copy and paste pictures and flags and some information. It's not very usable or fun or anything like that. And personally, I don't support it. I support Byworthy wanting to produce decks and whatnot. I support that and I encourage that. But you gotta do something better. Something cooler. Not pictures. I mean, anyways, you can get something like that from the USPC website. Get the Bicycle Hippo deck with the hippopotamus on it with pictures of that, and it's like $2. Anyways, next up we got the Dodgy playing cards by Revelation Workshop. Perfect for April Fool. Joke's on you because it's not going to get funded. 5% funded, 5 days to go. Not a chance in hell. The Noble Deluxe playing cards by Rick Davidson. It's the United Cards 2018 deck. It's funded, 8 days to go. Beautiful decks. Recommend checking them out. There's the Bicycle Steel Reforms Owl deck by Will Roya. Also well funded. 14 days to go. Definitely worth checking out. It's not really my cup of tea. It's just a relaunch from a previous project that failed to fund. And of course Will Roya is backed it, is producing it, so now it's in good hands. Then we got, for the millionth time, Strange Wars, the Claws Poker deck. Claws deck poker playing cards by Jason Shepard. Don't even get me started. This is 15% funded, 41 days to go. Very long project, so you're going to hear me talk about this for the next several weeks, unfortunately. This is a relaunch of a relaunch of a relaunch. I don't know how many times it's been relaunched. He has 10 projects. They all revolve the same deck. There's been no changes to it artistically. It's all pot inspired. And there's, this is like, you look at this project and it's nauseating. There's so much going on here. So many images, stuff that's loading. It's ridiculous. Simplify it. Showcase the deck a little bit more. It's just nauseating. So many colors and vomit all over the place. I apologize. I don't mean to be harsh or anything, but He's tried this like 10 times. People don't want it. Get it through your thick skull. At the very least, go back to the drawing board. He's had like a year since the last time he wants this. Go back to the drawing board and redo it. Reconfigure it. Try something different. Don't just throw the same thing out there and see if it works. Next, we get the number 9 tally hole. Horseback playing card restoration by Michael Scott. 50% funded, 3 days to go. Beautiful deck. I hope it funds. It's not likely to at this rate, but I recommend checking it out. It's a nice vintage restoration. I like it. Wonderland Lost deck number 2 by Michelle Herzl is funded. 52 hours to go. It's sexy, ladies. What more can you say? If you like it, go check it out. I'm seeing booty. I like it. Next up, we got the spare deck by Fabrica Magia SAS. 26% funded. 11 days to go. It's a spinner deck. Yay, because fidget spinners are underage nowadays. Fidget spinners was a trend that came on very big, very hard, and people have gotten tired of them almost immediately. This deck would have been a good idea about a year ago when fidget spinners were all the rage. Now that fidget spinners, I can't even speak, are basically not even cool anymore. It's a bad time to launch that deck. Oh, for God's sakes. Let's go back here. Come on. Come on. Don't do this to me. So that is the 6th Extinction card deck by Ross Gibson. Funded, 4 days to go. Not really my cup of tea, but 8 for effort. And I don't know if there's anything else now, because this thing screwed me over. There's one more I will show you that's no longer on here. It got cancelled, fortunately. Just bear with me a second as I double check and make sure I didn't miss anything. I could probably hear the neighbor's dog. It's a freaking loud dog, apparently. And yeah, that looks like it's it. I will search for one more. I need to show you. Guts to show you. Black Lightning Playing Cards by Gavin Pyros, who's apparently a 14-year-old kid, which is not a good selling feature, although I don't think he actually put that in the project, which concerns me a little bit. You should at least tell people who you are. Well, actually, we'll double check this. That's it. That's the back design. It's a lightning bolt. Wow. Breathtaking stuff. Game-changing. It's by the Hype Beast playing card company, whoever that is. It's, yeah, $30,000 goal. They didn't even hit $1,000. Only 8 backers. 8 backers and they had $629. They got some idiotic people out here. Who the hell? 2 people bought a brick of these. 2 people bought half a brick. And 3 people bought single decks. Are you people idiots? Why would you buy a brick of this? Why would you buy one of these? Especially at these prices. $15. It's a $3 deck at best. Generic faces. These are really going to be printed by expert playing cards. With apparently the lightning bolt is supposed to be gold foil. That is kind of interesting. They also foil on the box. Maybe that's the gold foil. Maybe it's not even on the cards. Yeah, it's supposed to be a gold foil lightning bolt on the back design. The problem is it's a massive goal, really massive. I contacted him about that, and he just said, "Oh, I'll keep trying until I find a goal that works." Yeah, you're not going to find one that works because nobody, except for a few people, are interested in this deck. Okay, it does say here he is a 14-year-old magician card collector. That's not a great selling feature. How is a 14-year-old going to fulfill this project? He doesn't even apparently bother to do the math and figure out exactly how much money he needs for a goal. It's just concerning. Also, as a cardist, collector, magician, he has not backed any projects, and I understand he's only 14, but he could have at least backed something. It's just, it's not going to happen. Anyways, that is that for Kickstarter. Stay tuned. We'll look at non-Kickstarter stuff in the next video. Comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time with more. Peace. I don't know why I did that.